Morning, friends. Welcome to my Shabby Craft Studio. In case you're new here, I'm Martha, and thank you for being here. Today we are going to work on our improvisational stitching fabric. And I did a practice one, but I'm not going to show you until afterwards because it certainly was a practice one. It's a bit ugly, but that's okay. I learned a lot, and that's what my practice one is for. So, I excuse the hoarseness in my voice. So, we're going to do beading today. Yep, going to do beading, and guess what I'm making? I'm making a butterfly. Surprise, surprise. So, excuse me. I have my bullion needle out. This is from Tulip. It's recommended by Ariane. I've had good and bad luck with it. This fabric is a very tight weave, and I think the dyes made it even tighter, maybe. I'm not sure. But the more I look at this fabric, the more I'm in love with it. I'm sorry. Yes, and I have some Stuff Francis. This is, I think, this one. And it's Perle 5. It's number 31. And it looks bright here, but I think it's going to make a really pretty bullion. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the body. And I did not do this on the one I made yesterday. Just fair warning. So I did not practice this. I actually used a piece of fabric for the one from yesterday. And I mean, you're going to see it at some point because, you know, it's my practice one and I show it. And usually I show it first. But like I said, lots of experimentation on it. I won't say mistakes. Far from perfect, but I don't expect perfect out of my work. So that's a good thing. Okay. So I always have to stop and think about the bullion. So if I come up there and I go down there, no, I want to come up here, go down there, come back up here, right? I always get it backwards, and I don't know why that is, but it just seems to be a mental block for me. So if I go down there and I go down there and I come back up there, I should be good, right? As you know, I do not claim to be a teacher. I want this sort of long. I don't want to make it too short. So, and of course now I'm going to be working upside down, so I probably should have done it the other way. So don't do as I do. Just, you know, figure out what works for you. I guess I'll go at an angle. And then, and this needle is quite thick. So it should allow me to pull the there. Okay, now I'm going to put that back there because I want the bullion to go over this fabric, this cheesecloth that I dyed. Excuse me. Now the underneath cheesecloth is dyed with, I think that's what I want, right? Yeah. Is that going to work? No. See, I told you I didn't practice this yesterday, so I have to figure this out. Ow! That's sharp. Here. Oh, my Lanta, as some people would say. Okay. So this is going to wrap around here. And I'm going to hope this comes out right. And I'm trying desperately to stay on camera. My last video was a mess. And I'm not going to make these real tight, but I need to make it really long. So I'm hoping this needle is long enough for what I want it to do. And I'm hoping this works. Because once you do a bullion knot, you have to cut it all apart and I feel like that's such a waste of my thread because, you know, thread ain't cheap. Back me up here, peeps. Ow, ow. And that needle is sharp. Ooh, wee, man, baby. Ooh, ow. Okay, I think that's going to be... But see, that's not going to end up on top. Well, maybe it will. All right, Martha. Is that long enough? Actually, I think I want it a little longer. I've not done this, so bear with me. Of course, if I really mess it up, you're not going to see this anyway, because I am going to not show it to you. Now, you got to pull that through. Make this go on top of there. And this is probably a lot simpler than what I'm making it look because, you know, that's how Martha rolls. Okay, let's see. I hope this is long enough. I hope this works. Why are you pulling? Please work. Please work. Cheesecloth gets wrapped around the threads and it prevents it from pulling through. That's one thing I have found. This is not the first problem I've had with it. Okay, let's see if that works. Ah, look at that. Much better. Much more cooperation, and I did it correctly. Yay me! All right, so I have this lovely bullion. It's a little bit... It's almost like it's too much because now it's not going to hold my fabric down, but that's okay. I hope you can see that. Okay. Martha, stay in camera. I'm going to move the camera a little because what I tend to do is work from this angle. So I'm going to do that and hopefully stay on camera. Okay. I had to delete a lot of my last video because, so I'm going to go down just to sort of anchor this. Because a lot of it was off camera. So a lot of my last video did not have what I wanted on it, but that's okay. I had to delete a big chunk of it, and then I'm coming back up, and then I'm going to do this. Hopefully I have enough thread for both. I'm just doing 3 wraps, because this is a size 5 thread, and it's pretty good. So I'm going to do, I want this to go right there. And I might have done it a little close to my mirror, but that's okay. And I'll show you at the end why I say that. Okay. Cheesecloth is feisty, let me tell ya. And then I'm going to come back up here. Ow. Now see, I didn't do this yesterday, and this is so fun. So fun. 3 wraps. And hold that on there. Go off in this direction. Hope that's not too wonky looking. Because at this point, I really can't tell. Because it's all crushed up. Okay. Yay! I'm so happy with that. This should not have been as long because, like I said, it's really not holding that down, but it gives us some dimension. See? I don't know if that shows on camera, but I'm happy with that. This could have been probably a little better. I'm going to secure that in the back. All right. I'm happy with that, considering what I thought it was going to come out like. Came out better than I thought. I have to have faith in myself, right? Okay. And I'm just going to trim this. Now, funny enough, when I was beading yesterday, I will show you the back of this. When I was beading yesterday, somehow I got a bead on the back part of my work. I have no idea how. Don't even try to guess, because, you know, you're talking about me here. I don't bother anymore with guessing. Okay. So I started to say, this purple I had dyed cheesecloth with my Distress ink pads, and the yellow is from my just recently done, spit it out, Martha, recently done RIT dyeing process. And what I did was I took the cheesecloth. I took a couple of cuts of cheesecloth because it comes on a little cardboard bolt kind of thing. And I took it and I laid it across. I laid my fabric down, my cotton that I was going to dye. Then I laid the cheesecloth across the top of it. And it came out really pretty. All right. So here I'm going to pour a few beads out. Now, I am using a size 8 bead because I have a size 11, but you couldn't even see it because the cheesecloth was kind of just, they would sink below the cheesecloth, and it wasn't working very well. So I have those. I don't know if I'm going to use these. I feel like they're a little dark. I'm going a little brighter with this. My one that I did yesterday, all the beads were shiny, but I don't have that many yellow and purple in shiny colors. This is the only shiny purple I have. So we're going to go, these are pretty bright. Maybe too bright for some people's taste. Yesterday what I did was I took a piece of fabric like this and I put that in the middle, which would have also looked nice. But then as I was testing this morning, I thought, oh, big bullion stitch. Be creative, Martha. So there you go. That's where that came in. So I hope everyone is doing okay. I've heard there's so much like just really crazy weather that's affecting people. Flooding and fires and yeah. So I'm not going to get all negative or, you know, sappy on people, but I just hope you're safe and this finds you dealing with the heat and the fires and the storms and other things that might be in your area. I really feel for you. Like, I feel like this needs to be something. I don't know what. I'm thinking. I got some thoughts going on here, so hold on to your patience. Let me try a couple things here, because now I'm like thinking. How would that look under there? Maybe. This is really, I can lift that up really high. Should I put like some solid fabric on there? See, this is the thought process that I go through when I'm like doing things. I say, okay, I'm going to prepare the video for this. And then it becomes something totally different. Like this that I did yesterday didn't look like this at all. Like I said, I'll show you at the end, and you can all have a really like holy cow moment. Because yeah, you'll realize just how great this looks. No matter what I do to it at this point. It's kind of pretty. See, that's getting way bigger and bulkier than what I want. So I did make this really, I mean, I can stick my finger under it. My fingers are pretty chubby. All right, I'm going to leave it alone. Maybe. Let me try one more thing. And I did have to use a very bright yellow because the paler yellow did not show up very well. All right, let me try this. Oops, I'm cutting cheesecloth off camera because sometimes the camera is too close and everything looks just really in your face. So I'm trying to be kind to you. Does the purple get lost? A little bit. And see, I didn't want it that big again. I don't want it that big. Don't want it that big. Gotta experiment. Sorry. I know it's annoying. Should have had it together before I did this, right? I know. I hear you. You can always fast forward. Speed me up. Put me on 1.25. You can still understand what I say. Put me any higher than that, all I'll do is be... But, you know, if that doesn't bother you, or turn the sound down, you can just have me on in the background. See, now that's still much bigger than I wanted. I don't want it to be monstrous like that, which is sort of what happened yesterday. It became way too big. So I'm just going to leave it. And I can always tack, you know, once I start beading, I can always tack the body down a little bit, somewhere in the middle, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And it'll still have, yeah, okay. Problem solved. Maybe. I'm going to use a neutral embroidery floss because yesterday I used a gray sewing thread and it was just, oh my gosh, it was a mess. It just didn't, like, it was constantly tangling. It took me hours to do it, and I'll probably have to speed this up unless I can do it in less than an hour, which is what I shoot for. So I'm going to try 2 strands. Should work. And then I have a very good needle. Couldn't tell you. I mean, I have so many packs of needles. Just regular, you go into the sewing section and you buy a pack of needles. And this one's very fine. I don't even know if you can see it. Come, focus. This one's very fine. And it has a teeny tiny hole. And the size, even the size 11 beads will fit on here. And it's not a special beading needle. It's just, did I get both of those? Yeah. It's just, you know, a tiny needle. And it works for the beads. So the 8s fit through perfectly. I have no problem with them. Watch, I'll probably run into a problem. All right, I'm just going to leave that there. So if you're better at the bullion than I am, your bullion will come out better than mine. And I am literally just going to start sewing. I feel like the camera is too close, but I mean, isn't close enough, but when I edit and I put it any closer, it's too close and then I'm off screen. And it's just bizarre and weird, and so, yeah. All right, so I'm just taking a needle and I'm going back down. And you really shouldn't see this neutral thread much at all. And cheesecloth, again, wants to get involved no matter what you're doing. So you could put this in a hoop. In fact, I was going to try and do that, and I forgot because it really is kind of tricky working around this fabric. And I do little clusters. So I was watching Ariane Zurcher yesterday, and she was doing knots, and she was doing them in clusters. And I was sitting down, I was sitting here thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? And she mentioned something about, I was watching a replay of a live that she did, and somebody had said, could you put beads on it? And I thought, oh, I want to put beads on it. I want to do beading. I have all these beads. I need to use all my beads. So I want to put beads on it. So yeah, that's where the beads came in. So, okay. And you see they do sort of get lost a little bit in the cheesecloth. So you have to kind of work with that and try and turn the beads on their sides, and I always try and go back and secure a few of them down. So if they need to be, I can't see. My eyes are just giving me fits lately. Right now they're watering like crazy. Okay, so I just sort of secure that, and then I go to the next place. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to knot this in the back. There. Now I feel like if something happens to that set of beads, maybe they'll, it won't affect the next set of beads. Okay. So I'm just going to keep going with this, and I may speed this up at some point. Oops, see? Stay out of there. And if I don't, you're welcome to speed it up. I really have nothing exciting to talk about, so you won't miss anything. But it's very... Did I do that again? I did. See what I do? I think this is how the bead ended up on the back. I forget to come back up through the front. Yeah, it doesn't work very well that way. But if you want to see my mess from yesterday, you have to keep watching, because it's quite humorous. I got up this morning and looked at it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Martha, what were you thinking? But it leads me to doing a better job the next time around. So hopefully this one will come out better and not quite so holy macaronis. Oops, see, I was going to do it again. Oh, Martha. If I just stay on top. Yeah, I wish I had more of the beads I'd like to work with in these colors. More variety. But I don't, so I'm doing what I got. Using what I got. Okay, so that one I only did 4. That one's got 5. I'm not being, like, real particular. And it's very just relaxing. I had slept really hard night before last. And, like, I went to bed at 10:15, fell sound asleep. No media, no TikTok, no videos, no nothing. Fell sound asleep. Sorry, I had an itch. And ended up, I woke up a couple of times during the night, went back to sleep. And like just really I didn't even wake up when Evan got up to go potty. Tony took him out, and I didn't wake up then. And trying to get this one to lay on its side. There we go. I don't like it when beads are like whole side up. Like this one. I like it when they lay on their side. The side is prettier. Come on, Martha. You can do it, Martha. Really. You can do it. And then, yeah, I didn't even wake up when Tony took him out, or he came back in the bed, and then he got up to feed him. And yeah, I didn't wake up during any of that. It was just, I was gone. I guess I needed the sleep. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. The underside. Thank you. I'm going to secure this. It has been holy Hannah hot here. Oh my gosh. HE double hockey sticks hot. And it's just been, ugh. I just can't deal with it. I feel, you know, it's like July and August are my two worst summer months. And then I need to move these up. They're gonna, I can just see them starting to, I lost so many beads yesterday. July and August are my worst summer months. Worst. I hate July and August. And then, see how that one got lost under the cheesecloth? So I'm going to come back up. Come on. I'm going to come back up and try and bring it back up again. And it's just in a hole there. So that's where it's going to be. And then, yeah, July and August, and then January and February in winter. I just feel like a prisoner in the house. I just don't want to be out. You know, July and August are just unbearably hot for me. I have a hard time breathing. And I hate it. I just hate the heat. You know, there's just, other than air conditioning, which I'm grateful we have, both in the cars and in the house. But, yeah. So I'm gonna move away from that area because they're just kind of getting buried. But it's sort of another, you know, level of dimension when you layering, when you have them. Uh-oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, try that again. I didn't catch both threads. But yeah, so January and February, I mean, at least I can, you know, dress warmly and put on more layers of clothes, which you can't really do in the summer. You can't run around naked. I mean, you can, but you'd probably get in trouble for it. At least in my part of the world. And so, winter, it's just the darkness. Like, I thrive in the sunlight and I thrive in the daylight. And so, yeah, winter, it's the lack of daylight hours. Not so much the cold. I'd rather be cold, you know, in a cold climate than in a hot climate any day. I'm just not a hot climate woman. I'm not a hot woman. More ways than one. Whoops, but they'll go back down. Now see, you could go through and tack all this cheesecloth down, which I kind of did. Well, I didn't kind of did. I did afterwards. I went all around the edges afterwards, and I don't like it on the one I did yesterday. It's just really abstract and kind of looks like a 5-year-old did it. But hey, you know, learning experience, right? It was a learning experience. Okay. So there we go. I'm really thirsty this morning. So I may have to stop and take sips of tea along the way. Oh, Martha, come on. I have English breakfast tea in my cup this morning. Unfortunately, it's decaf. If I drink too much caffeine, and please, my English, British, Irish, Australian friends, don't freak out. I know it's like a sin, but if I have too much caffeine, then my heart races, and that's not a good thing. We don't want Martha's heart racing, because then Martha gets panic attacks that she's having another heart attack. So, and I did not eat. So if you hear like grumbling, growling, it's not Evan. It's Martha's tummy. Okay. All right. Well, there's one side done. And I kind of like the abstractness of this as opposed to what I did yesterday. Let's see. I'm halfway through an hour video, so I'm going to keep going. And, oops, that didn't really do anything. Okay. Yay. Alrighty. All right, sip of tea. Break time. And the other sin that I create, or that I commit, is when I drink my tea, it's never hot, hot, hot. I cannot do hot tea. I can't do hot anything. Hot food, hot drinks upset my stomach. Like, I'll end up like feeling sick the rest of the day if anything's too hot. And it's not because it's summer, it's because it's just my stomach, my insides don't like it. So, oops, I already had another piece. Darn it. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that then. All right, I'm putting that back. I have this piece here. And I am using 2 strands. And woohoo! It's 2 in a row. The eyes are young today. The eyes are young. The day is young. All right. So, probably start here. And, you know, once I'm done with these little batches, I'll just look at it and see if I like the way it looks. And if I don't, I can add more. I can add different colors. I can add, you know, whatever you think might enhance it, which you'll see. Again, I got a little carried away yesterday. Just a little. So see, if you want to see that lovely surprise, you got to stay till the end. So I want to welcome anybody that's new here. I'm not an expert at embroidery or slow stitching or whatever you want to call this. Uh-oh. Shoot. Well, that's going to be a loop. Some lost thread. All right. Well, it's going to hold it there. That's all that matters. Go down here. I am 65, and I used to embroider when I was a teenager, but not like this. I mean, sort of like this. It's not, I did it again. It's not like I had patterns to follow or anything really. I can't remember anybody teaching me. There was definitely not YouTube or, you know, anything back then. Ow! Except books. So I have no idea how I picked it up or where I saw it. Really couldn't tell you. Can't remember back then. Isn't that sad? All right, So I like the 3 batch right there. See if I cannot mess this one up. All right, and then I'm gonna go down here. No, I'm gonna go over here. And go out towards the outer part of the wing. It's a long stretch for my thread. I think I'm gonna run out of thread. I don't want to pull it because I really should have knotted it and started over there properly, but I didn't. So 'tis what it is. And 'tis is what it shall be. Oops. And I want to thank, I think it's Colorado Blue Skies. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but if you watch this one, I want to thank you for your correspondence on the knee surgery stuff. I really appreciate it. It helped calm me down a bit. So, yeah. And that takes, it takes some work sometimes to calm me down. So, I do appreciate what you said and the advice you gave. And it means a lot to me that you took the time to do that. So thank you so much. And I have the notes written down. I don't know if I'll be able to get to pool therapy, but I could always ask. So we have an outdoor pool here in the community. I do not go to the outdoor pool because there's always a lot going on and lots of kids in it. If I lived in a 55 plus with an indoor pool, it'd be a different story. But there is actually a pool in one of the towns near me, and they actually do physical therapy there. So I don't like the hospital they are associated with, mostly because it's a teaching hospital, and I used to go to that hospital. It's the hospital I went to when I had my heart attack, but it's not the hospital I will be doing my knee surgery at, because as much as I understand that student medical personnel need to practice, I don't like being the guinea pig for practice sessions, and I went through probably 10 years of that between my heart attack and uterine cancer and some other things. I did not, I just don't want to do that anymore. So, all right, Martha, move this closer. My short little pterodactyl arms are not cooperating. So, trying to stay on camera, in frame, whatever you want to call it. Oh, my stomach. I wasn't hungry when I started this, but boy, Tony is returning. We bought an air fryer. I don't know. I got a bug up my butt, and I wanted an air fryer, and I really didn't like it. And I have an Instant Pot that I bought several years ago, and I haven't made friends with it, but I'm going to pull that puppy out and try and make friends with it. I know it's completely different than an air fryer, but we do a lot of our cooking in a toaster oven, and I actually like the way stuff comes out in the toaster oven much better than I did in the air fryer. We tried it once. I cleaned it all up. Yes, we returned it. Yeah, that's probably not the way to go, but that's what I did. If it was a store, I would have returned it to a store. I returned it to Amazon. They have a warehouse that when they get stuff back in, if it's used, slightly used, just returned, whatever, that's where the stuff goes. And you can get it at a discount then. So it is what it is. It was big. It was loud. It was taking up too much space on my counter that I don't have much counter room on. And so I just decided that it wasn't for me. We have a Blackstone griddle that we got a year ago and never used until 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And Tony likes now cooking on it. So we are going to use the black stone griddle and just stick with our toaster oven. And when my toaster oven poops out, which I think it's getting ready sort of to do anyway, we may just get the oven style that is a toaster oven slash air fryer combo kind of thing. And, you know, we might do that. But basically my toaster oven is a convection oven anyway, and that's really, I mean, honestly, that's all a air fryer really is. It throws air around, and that's what a convection oven does. It bakes with air. So, yeah. All right, so I have done, let me tie this off. I've done this, and I may go back and do some more things to this. I don't know. I could sew around it with some thread that, you know, is complementary. I could put knots in here to go with the beads. I wish I could see what I was doing here. Goodness gracious, Martha. But for this purpose of doing this on, oh no, see, that's what happens to me. All my beads go flying. And I have a shade carpet, so yeah, there's no saving the beads. That one landed in my lap. Okay, so this is my butterfly, my kind of abstract, and I like the loose wings hanging out. So that's it. So let me zoom you in. So that's what I made today. There's a name for these, but I can't remember what they are. The stitch with the knot at the end. And then, you know, all the other stuff. And Evan didn't eat his breakfast today, so he's acting like he's hungry, so I may take him out. So this was yesterday's. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me zoom you in on this one. Yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Quite ugly, but hey, I thought, well, I'll add thread around the edges, and I did. I added these are knots up here at the top, and I added, you can see this thread going, couldn't see it, made no difference at all. I thought, well, I'm going to outline it in black. And this is the fabric I used. It's t-shirt material. No, didn't turn out well. However, then I did this around my mirror, these knots, and that's just a bullion knot. So you come up, go down, and come up right next to where you went down. And you do a bullion and, you know, put it on your needle, wrap it around, and then you tack it down up here. So all of these, this one you can really see it. It's tacked down with a stitch. And that's all I did on that. And I really like that a lot. So there you go. That's today's, a little better than yesterday's. If you don't want to do a butterfly, just put some fabric down. Doesn't have to be cheesecloth. Put some fabric down and bead it. Just bead it. Bead it. Just bead it. B-E-A-D. Bead it. I'll probably get copyright law for that. Considering I can't really sing. So just bead it. Okay? Just do it. Just do something with beads. Even if it's a little tiny thing and it looks like a flower. Or you do, you know, things coming out of it. Try some beads. In the States, Michael's and Joann's carries little tubes of beads. Just go get a tube of beads. 1 or 2. They're not expensive. And try those. And like I said, these are size 8. 8 is an easy bead to, an easy size to play with. You could get bigger beads. I have lots of bigger beads. You know, I have all kinds of beads. I got me some beads coming out my ears. I even have these little ones. These are plastic, but, you know, these are glass. And, you know, I have even other beads, which we may be doing something with on this, or maybe on a different one. So, if I've encouraged you or inspired you to get your beads out and play, do a bullion stitch, do this stitch. It's just a stitch with 3 knots at the end, and it's got a name, and for my life I can't remember what it is. And if you want to make a shape, make a shape. If you don't, don't. So I'm probably going to record making the bullions around the outside of the mirror, and that'll be the next video. Thanks for joining me. As always, I appreciate it. Stay healthy, stay well, stay happy. Happy crafting. I love you all. I love you all. And thank you for being here. Really, honest. I hope you'll come back for the next one. Take care, everybody. See you on the flip side. Happy crafting. Bye.